Ilmu Pendidikan, Program Studi Pendidikan Matematika, Pendidikan Bahasa dan Sastra Indonesia, dan Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Fakultas Pertanian, Program Studi Agroteknologi dan Agribisnis. Fakultas Kehutanan, Program Studi Kehutanan. Fakultas Kesehatan dan MIPA, Program Studi Kebidanan, Administrasi Rumah Sakit, Keperawatan. Fakultas Pariwisata, Program Studi Usaha Perjalanan Wisata dan Perhotelan. Program Pasca Sarjana. Untuk pengembangan potensi dan kreativitas mahasiswa, UMSB aktif dengan unit kegiatan mahasiswa. Untuk meningkatkan kualitas pendidikan, UMSB terus melakukan upaya kerjasama dengan berbagai sektor di dalam dan luar negeri, seperti kerjasama bidang peningkatan pendidikan dengan Yayasan Luqmanul Hakim Thailand, kerjasama pendidikan kebidanan dengan Al-Islam Specialist Hospital Kuala Lumpur dan MMC Hospital Malaka, kerjasama bidang kepariwisataan syariah dengan Kerajaan Negeri Kelantan, Malaysia, dan Perdana Resort Kelantan, kerjasama dengan Asia Muslim Charity Foundation, Dubai, kerjasama dengan Kementerian Luar Negeri Republik Indonesia. UMSB juga rutin mendatangkan pembicara untuk seminar nasional dan internasional. Spirit untuk memberikan yang terbaik untuk bangsa, memacu UMSB untuk selalu meningkatkan kualitas dan layanan pendidikan bagi peserta didik, serta terus bersinergi menjadi salah satu universitas yang memberi manfaat dari Muhammadiyah untuk bangsa.
Eminent, credible, sustainable. A global revolution in a truly competitive millennium. dedication and commitment are the essence in facing challenges and fulfill hopes. Intellectuals play the most significant role in the creation of frameworks for future sustainable development. This is the pledge of University Utara Malaysia. Management is the embodiment of University Utara Malaysia UUM. Management that is based on thought and intellectual, where art, science and craft meet. At UUM, the holistic educational ecosystems is not merely to produce alumni, but to lay the foundation for future leaders.
Since its inception, UUM strives to produce graduates who are not only knowledgeable, but also thoughtful and devoted to their families and all stakeholders. With a high level of integrity, we hope that the contributions of UUM graduates to the religion, people, country, and also at the international level will bring positive impact now and also in the future.
Emphasis is given to the advancement of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, IR 4.0. The world sees UUM as an institution of higher learning, equipped with a state-of-the-art facilities, smart campus enfolded by nature. UUM champions the voice of its students. It is the voice of future intellects.
So as a student graduating, especially from University Utara Malaysia, which is actually the management university, we need to make sure that they are actually equipped with all this proficiency.
If you look at the world now, people are talking about sustainability, go green. So UM is in the right place, greeneries, and the environment is certainly very conducive to get the students to learn and to absorb knowledge.
The educational reform has placed UUM as a credible institution regionally and internationally. Humanizing education becomes our focal point, thus giving a universal value to knowledge, virtue and service. Research and innovation by its academic fraternity are undertaken with seriousness, not merely to fulfill the academic requirements, but to be at the forefront in shaping the industry. More than 100 million ringgit worth of research grants invested and more than 7,000 academic publications in the field of management and business produced in the last 5 years. Facilities and amenities provided feature the latest in smart technology, complementing the tranquility of the lush green campus surroundings. First-class infrastructures within the exquisiteness and splendor of nature showcase the education ecosystems at its best.
The facilities, the environment, actually creating individual or students who have holistic skills from the perspective of academic, professional, as well as the social skill.
We believe in developing students holistically that can serve the society and country as its future leaders with the highest integrity and professionalism.
I'm actually happy to see how exactly University Utara Malaysia have evolved itself to become a highly ranked university.
University Utara Malaysia, over the past 3 decades, has earned its own place by providing the highest quality of education and is marching forward towards achieving greater success and greatness. With the various awards and accreditations received, the future is certain and bodes well for the university. The royal patronage with the Kedah Royal House indeed provides vital publicity for the important work done at the university and allows the enormous achievements and contributions to society be recognized.
UUM is a unique environment where the emphasis of the university is not just purely on academics. In this case, academics, sporting excellence, spiritual excellence, and by then, I guess we could live up to our motto of Ilmu Budi Bakti.
I love UUM, and I'm proud to say that I graduated from UUM.
UUM is the jewel valley of the North Malaysia.
Ilmu Budi Bakti. We love UUM.
University Utara Malaysia, the eminent management university.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and welcome to the Ecotourism Challenge webinar 2020. This webinar is a collaboration with University Utara Malaysia and Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat. First of all, my name is Siti Nur Fatihah binti Jamhari, and I'll be responsible for hosting this webinar. Thank you for joining us today. For your information, our theme is the cultural tourism on new normal era. Attention to all attendees. Please turn off your mic and camera throughout this webinar. Thank you. Before we start our event, I would like to brief the rundown for this event. This event will start with singing national anthem Negaraku and Indonesia Raya. Then, welcome speech from Dean School of Tourism, Hospitality, Event Management, UUM, and Dean of Fakulti Pariwisata, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat. After that, we will listen to our main show that we are represent 5 professional speakers to talk about the culture tourism on new normal era during this COVID-19. For sure, there will be question and answer session too. So, if you have questions to ask, you can write your question on the chat box. We will start our event with singing of Negaraku and Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared. Thank you. Without wasting our time, I would like to invite Dr. Johan Effendi Ibrahim, Dean of School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management, University Utara Malaysia, to begin our session.
Thank you to the chairperson. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening, good morning to Ibu ROZI YULIANI, Dean Fakultas Pariwisata, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, participant, colleagues, and friends from all over the world. Welcome to the opening ceremony of Ecotourism Challenge Webinar 2020, the Culture Tourism Development on New Normal Era, organized by School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management, University Utara Malaysia, collaboration with Fakultas Pariwisata, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, Indonesia. Also, a big appreciation to our academic partner for this conference, especially from Indonesia, for their willingness to join venture. Alhamdulillah, as a result for our visit and discussion with Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat Indonesia before this, we can organize the webinar that will discuss about ecotourism and culture tourism on post-COVID-19. As we know, COVID-19 give a severely impacts to tourism industry, especially on income and job opportunities. In Malaysia, a lot of hotels shrunk operation and even closed. People worried go to travel due to this pandemic, and at the same time, they're controlling their daily expenses. This webinar is a good platform to discuss, especially about impact from COVID-19 to ecotourism and culture tourism. As we know, Malaysia government take some actions to close the national park and state park to reduce the infection of COVID-19 to people. I hope this webinar can discuss about the Malaysia-Indonesia experience on ecotourism and culture tourism issue in tourism industry and recommend some solution to ensure this industry can recover as usual. Hopefully, this program also can further strengthen the existing relationship between university in the future. I would like to congratulate the organizer from both university for hard work of leading this webinar. Congratulations also to the secretariat and members of the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Johan, for your welcoming speech. Next, I would like to invite Dean of Fakulti Pariwisata Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, Bapak Muhammad Abdi, Sarjana Ekonomi, Magister Management, represented by Madam YULIANI, Sarjana Sains Terapan Pariwisata, Magister Management, Fakulti Pariwisata Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, to say a few words. Thank you.
Sorry, namanya ID.
Alah, Pak, start video.
Madam, please open the mic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for us to be invited in this webinar. I am ROZI YULIANI. I'm here on behalf of the Dean Fakultas Pariwisata Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat Indonesia, Mr. Muhammad Abdi. It's such an honor for me to speak on this great occasion. First of all, I would like to express my appreciation to School of Tourism, Hospitality, and Event Management University, Utara Malaysia, who generously invite us to collaborate in this webinar. I also want to express my gratitude to Dr. Johan Effendi, Dean School of Tourism, Hospitality, and Event Management University Utara Malaysia, and Mr. Doni, Advisor, Event Management Student Society, School of Tourism, Hospitality, and Event Management University Utara Malaysia, and the committees. Well, the cultural tourism development on new normal era is a very good theme to discuss right now. Because in this pandemic situation, we should find the best way to make our tourism survive. One of them is by developing ecotourism system. Hopefully, this event yield significant effect for our life, especially for our tourism world in the future. Well, thank you very much for your kind attention. We are looking forward to next event, and I hope this webinar success. It's worth. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, madam, for your warm speech. Without further ado, I will turn this to the moderator, Dr. Muna Mariam Izmi. Please welcome Dr. Muna.
Cak mati, Pak.
Dr. Muna. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, everyone. My apology for the technical problem just now. Okay, so welcome everyone to today's Ecotourism Challenge webinar 2020. This webinar is organized by UUM, collaboration with Universitas Muhammadiyah, Sumatera Barat. So the theme that we have today is the cultural tourism on new normal era. Okay, so before I start introducing you the speakers today, I just want to inform you guys that we open question session for every session after presentation. So we welcome every question in this chat panel. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put up your question there, and I will make sure to read them in our Q&A session. Okay, right. So before we have our first presentation, I'm going to introduce you with our speakers for today. So we have here, the first one is from UUM, which is Dr. GELAREH ABOOALI. He's a senior lecturer of School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management, STEM, UUM. And we have, next we will have Dr. Siti NOORMALA JAILANI, and then we will proceed with Madam ROZI YULIANI, and then yeah, okay, this one, Dr. Siti NOORMALA, also from UUM, Madam ROZI YULIANI. She's a Dean of Faculty Tourism, Universitas Muhammadiyah, Sumatera Barat. And then we will have Dr. NURUL HISHAMUDDIN, Lecturer of School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management, STEM, UUM. And last but not least is our Mr. EDDI NOVRA, so from Faculty Tourism of Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat. Alright, so without further ado, I would like first, before we hear our first presentation today, let me introduce you brief information about our first speaker, which is Dr. GELAREH. So Dr. GELAREH is an expert in event management. She is the coordinator of Event Management Research Unit in UUM and currently is a senior member of Asia Pacific Institute of Event Management as well as a certified event manager and event planner. Alright, so without further ado, let's have our full attention to Dr. GELAREH ABOOALI, who will share with us her expert opinion on mantras for post-COVID ready industry. So I will introduce to Dr. GELAREH Alright, so should we have our I think there is a technical issue here with Dr. GELAREH. Can we have okay. We will have a few moments here to get ready. Alright, while waiting, those who just entered this webinar, why don't you join through the link of registration in the chat panel if you haven't, so we can see the participation. I think I would like to apologize for this technical problem. For now, we have to proceed to our second speaker while waiting for Dr. GELAREH. Let's have our second speaker first, which is Dr. Siti NOORMALA binti JAILANI. So she is the coordinator of hospitality program in UUM. She is also the expert in hospitality, food and beverage service management, and currently a PWT enthusiast. She is into all this research regarding disabilities in F&B business. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Siti NOORMALA to share with us her expert opinion on cultural tourism in Malaysia, gastronomic adventures. So I would like all of you to have full attention to Dr. NOORMALA to welcome her to our stage, OVC Air. Alright, so Dr. NOORMALA.
Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all participants. I could see that we have around 87 of us online watching and listening to this webinar, and I welcome each and every one of you. Since this is a very, I would say, instantly, I have to cover the first presenter because due to her technical issues, but never mind. this is what it is all about. This is what how do I say? Readiness is all about. Yeah. All right. So today, my name is Dr. Siti NOORMALA JAILANI. I would be glad if you guys could just address me as Dr. Mel. Yes, I thank you, Dr. Muna, for the good introduction just now. And yes, I am currently very interested in studying the behavior of consumer towards people with disability in hospitality industry. It is a very interesting area to explore, I must say, because of the uniqueness of the special group. And hopefully I have managed to explore more and giving opportunity to the rest of the disabilities community out there. All right. So let's go into the topic that I was supposed to give today. I will be talking about cultural tourism in Malaysia from the perspective of gastronomic and how it can be so adventurous towards everyone. Be it the tourist or us as the hosting country. Okay. All right. So we all know that Malaysia is a melting pot of culture with different races living harmoniously together. We have three major races in Malaysia. We have Chinese, Malay, and Indian. And plus we have people from the Borneo, from the Sabah and Sarawak, which also they have multiple and a variety of customs in terms of their lifestyle as well as their gastronomic. Okay. And Malaysia is blessed with not only richness in agriculture but also multicultural coexistence, which bring forth a multitude of food ingredients. Of course, even though among all 14 states of Malaysia, each of the state has its own unique recipe, its own unique presentation in terms of the food, unique taste, and not only among between the 14 states, but within the same state also we have a different kind of cooking and different kind of food ingredient. All right, so it is a very adventurous to explore, but what I will be focusing on today is specifically on the issues or on the impacts of what we are going through right now, the unfortunate pandemic that struck us somewhere in March 2020. None of us were prepared about this. None of us know this is coming, even though I must say that before the pandemic, all of us, I myself eat raw food. Like, I love sashimi, and sashimi we know generally is a raw fish. But because of the pandemic right now, when I say none of us is prepared, meaning to say that we don't know that just by plainly eating some raw fish, we could end up something like this, or eating raw food. I must say, some like people in China, they like to eat all this, right? So having said that, we are not being prepared, so the impacts is major. Okay, and back to my notes. We have multiple locations in Malaysia that offer variety of food, and we call it food heaven in Malaysia, like in Penang, in Ipoh, in East Coast, Kelantan and Terengganu. They have different kind of food which is very authentic, and if it's to be brought to other states, like from Kelantan to Kedah, it will taste differently. So you want to taste authentic East Coast food, you must go to Kelantan and Terengganu. Same as well to go for Sabah and Sarawak. They have fresh seafood supplies over there and multiple ways of cooking it. And having said multiple variety of menu, we have also multiple or varieties of type of food and service, like street food, fine dining, full service, fast food, and the list is endless. You name it, you have it in Malaysia, right? Okay, I begin with the good old days of the time when we didn't have to worry about the virus, and we can enjoy the innovation of food and service in Malaysia. Like the most recent one is in 2019, we were being introduced with the method of serving up in the sky. You know, I would never, I don't know who will join this, but I would never, because I'm very afraid of heights and I'm very bad at it. So I don't think I will be able to eat at this height. All right, so this is also another a good innovation we found in food and service area in Malaysia, because the experience, I mean, the food is probably common, I would say, Western setting, but the experience that we are trying to introduce to the people of Malaysia is very much different. Okay, of course the price is different. And this is good when we want to celebrate special occasions or things like that, you know. So this is dinner up in the sky somewhere in KL. It is no longer, I've checked at the official website, it is no longer offered, and this is one of the example of the impacts of COVID towards the food and beverage area of Malaysia. It is so major, so you can imagine the layoff of staff, you know, things like that, which is very, very sad. But never mind, we will discuss about the recovery later on. Okay, next, we also have another innovation of eating at the river. All right, this is also during the good old days of where we don't have to worry about the virus. But I think now it's back. The operators has opened back their shop or their restaurant, and we still can experience this, but of course with a very, very strict SOP that we have to follow. But I'm not sure. This is located somewhere in Kemensa, which is in Selangor right now. Right now, Selangor is having PKPB or the restricted MCO currently until end of this month. So I don't think, even if it's open, I don't think they can eat dine in, probably only for takeout food. All right. We also have another kind of innovation. I got information from the Putrajaya International Hot Air Balloon Festival, where they offer, one of the event companies that organized this festival said that in their hot air balloon basket, they also offer some sort of a package, some sort of for honeymooners, or you want to propose to your boyfriend or to your girlfriend, they offer some kind of snacks and special drink for you guys to celebrate up there. So what I was trying to say here is the innovation of how we change, you know, how we the evolution of the food service in Malaysia is massive before the pandemic, but unfortunately, because of the virus, everything has been shut down for at least 3 months solid for the first MCO. Yeah, so yeah, the first MCO, everybody had to stay at home, whether we like it or not. We had to stay at home. Only essential services is open, even though food and beverage is considered as only essential services, but not many restaurants open. At that time, we were still not prepared. I don't think Food Panda also was all these delivery operators. I don't think they're prepared with the demands, suddenly the spiking demands of delivering food, you know, during the first MCO. Because I experienced some lagging also in their services, but this is because of probably the first time we had it, so probably they were not prepared. But during the second one, it was quite smooth, and essential services are open, and the government decided that yes, the restaurant is open, but only for takeout services, and however, tourism operators still close. So this also showed that the food and beverage service industry still cannot expand or cannot operate as usual during the second MCO. But the third MCO, alhamdulillah, the government, basically because of the main reason they decided for the MCO third one was because of the economic purposes, and most industries finally resume, and F&B services back on track, where the restaurants are open but with very strict SOP. People only can eat two person at one table, not more than 3 sometimes, not more than 4 sometimes. It depends on the size of the table. All right, and tourism activities were allowed. I still remember when they announced this, everybody was happy to travel, because we have been staying at home for some time. So we need some kind of entertainment. We need some kind of release and to go travel. But with the current situation right now, if we don't curb or really follow the SOP, we will go back to MCO1. So none of us would like to have that, yeah? So having this webinar, I urge everyone, myself and everyone, to strictly follow the SOP. It is very, very important, okay? All right, okay, the facts. Right, the facts are during this, the impact of the pandemic is, of course, obviously the economic impact, all right? It has been recorded and it has been announced by our Prime Minister in May 2020 that the country's economy estimated losses was 2.4 billion daily since MCO and accumulated to 63 billion. And when we extend for the third MCO, we lost about 35 billion ringgit in total, yeah? So it is huge. It is very, very huge. I read in some of the research that talk about the impact towards the small businesses, the micro business people, the micro business operators. They can only survive, their cash flow can only survive for 2 weeks. Only like 7, and there was only 70% who could possibly sustain for at least 2 months. This is due to many reasons. We will discuss about it later, okay? Yeah? All right. And then another fact is we had a mass layoffs of jobs out there when we had the pandemic, all right? The first time, the second time, also the third time. Job losses in Malaysia increased by 42% in first quarter due to the pandemic, reported by Malay Mail in June 2020. But however, because of it is when the government start to reopen some of the industry, even though with strict SOP and everything, the unemployment rate has dropped to 4.7%. People are start recruiting back. There are demands, so companies need to meet the demand. Factories need to meet the demands of supplying stuff. So the employment rate goes up again, all right? So this is a good sign, but even though it is not, nothing is certain about it, but at least it starts showing us some small light at the end of the tunnel there. All right, following the reopening of the economic sectors in stages since May. All right, micro businesses impacted. As we all know, the small business enterprise, the SME, small medium enterprises, had the most huge impact towards this pandemic, during this pandemic, because none of them, most of them had very little. Of course, we don't have the readiness, we don't have the preparedness, and when this strike, we don't know what to do. First of all, the micro business operators has this is a research. In May 2020, a group of researchers from Malaysia did a survey for all this SME and why they couldn't sustain from this crisis, from this huge crisis, an unprecedented crisis. It is because their knowledge of this, because of the cash flow, very weak cash flow. And having said this, it is related to their weak knowledge of financial management. They don't know, they don't have a proper accounting recording, they don't have a proper planning, they don't have a proper marketing plan, they don't have proper operation knowledge, so they don't have all this. People, especially those who are running business, street food business, like goreng pisang, fried banana fritters, pasar malam, pasar malam, night market operators. Those are people who had very little knowledge in terms of a proper and a formal accounting or cash flow recording. Okay, so this is one of the factors that we need to take, and something that we need to swallow, that our business operators are having very little knowledge pertaining this issue, accounting and financial management. All right, and of course, supply chain effects. When there's no demand and factories start to close down because people cannot come to work. So factories have very limited operation or very limited production. So everything is chaos. Everything is affected one after another. Back doors, front door, business to business, customer to business, business to customer. Everybody was affected about it. So this is also another lesson that we have to learn, that crisis management is also important thing to talk about. We're in business or in any kind of industry, because this happens. It's just that this time, I mean, we had crisis before. We had SARS. Obviously, we had before, the tourism industry also suffered from Islamic phobia, where when we are scared, the Western countries are scared to see Muslims travel. So also impact to the tourism industry. I don't deny that, but it was not so massive. Like this one it affects at every level. Even the big companies also could feel the effects of this pandemic. Okay, so what do we do? What can we do to overcome all this? I mean, we have discussed about many webinars have discussed about the impacts, but let's discuss about what to do next, with the recovery strategies. All right, in March 2020, the government had launched the Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package with 3.3 billion budget to assist the SMEs in sustaining business operations, employment, and domestic investment. This is also been seen as one of the good efforts. We are among the countries that have a good backup plan to help the business community. All right, we also have Penjana, which it focuses on most of the industry, the education, the tourism especially, and many others. It's a holistic approach. And another example is Bantuan Prihatin Pemandu Pelancong di bawah Pakej Rangsangan Ekonomi or PRE is also. But however, all these are the characteristic is very short term. When I look into the types of assistive that they give, it is in a form of loans, in a form of cash, in a form of one-off, right? So we need to look into a longer and more sustainable long-term strategies. This is good, but this is short-term, like you're having a small fever or low fever, just give you some penicillin and that's it. But what happened next? We are talking about the sustainability of the industry itself, which is tourism, the airline, event industry, event operators are the most impacted by all this, right? So after that, people start searching, and then we start to be creative, we start to be innovative with the situation, which is good. We bounce back. We are searching for ways how to find businesses, how to sustain it, and everybody and most of the people started to come up with multiple apps. And one of it is Foodpanda, the most famous one. We have Grab Food, and everybody start to create all these wonderful apps, which is good. But we must understand, like I said, all these operators don't have the acceptable or a qualified IT knowledge, I would say, and they have no idea what is e-commerce all about. We cannot deny the fact that the older generation are not IT literate. they cannot see the process of the whole e-commerce at the back of the business. They don't see the money coming in. They only see the food going out and in, but the money is not there because they don't see it as in hard cash. So that is also another issue that we have to notice now. Yeah. So despite of these wonderful apps are created for food service, for groceries, the deliveries, we also have to come up with many other long-term strategies. All right. Okay. Okay. Like I said, it requires long-term plan. It requires everybody. The players, the industry players, the industry experts, the education people, the associations. Everybody must step up and everybody must speak and must mention their challenges and their issues in doing this. And we need to reach out. I would say reach out to search for help. Be creative, be innovative, and secondly, probably we need to look into the red tapes of the bureaucracy issues. It's true that the government offer all these grants, all these loans and everything, but you must understand that the bureaucracy issue also is another thing that sometimes street food vendors are not able to get because they don't know. And they don't know the ways, they don't know who to reach. They cannot reach out. So these are the things. And also we need to educate our business community with survival skills and grits to sustain or to face the crisis. What are the survival skills that they need? Be it small operators, medium operators, be it younger generation, older generation of operators, tourist product operators or food operators per se. We need to provide all this. It is time for many of us to step in and emphasize on the survival skills and start to introduce passion and grits into the attitude of these people. And also we need to start embracing highly adaptive attitude, meaning to say that if anything happened, then we could take a breath, sit down, and start to think about, okay, what do we do next? How can we do this? How can we go about? There's always ways. I always believe that, and I choose to be optimistic in terms of this. I know some of us say that that's it, the end of it. There's nothing we can do unless we have the vaccine. But mind you, even with the vaccine, if we don't discuss about this now, the knowledge, the long-term plan, it will still how do I say, it's still no point. All right. So, and then back to strong financial management knowledge. We have to start educating strong financial management knowledge to business operators, be it in tourism or in hospitality industry. And of course, efficient operation management, how to manage the human resource effectively and efficiently, how to manage the supply, the food supplies, the ingredients, the perishable items, the non-perishable items, the menu generation, the menu engineering, the pricing and everything. It needs to be addressed in order for us to be sustained in the industry and not really depending on the assistance given by the government, not necessarily, okay? All right. These are just some of my examples that I'm giving I'm promoting some positivity despite of the impacts, okay? And experts mentioned that there are still opportunities, provided we have to go and search for it. This is just some of the snippets that I found. That innovation and new technology offerings could be in place is also another thing that we should look into, that we can look into. Like what we're doing right now, webinar, who knows, we are on this. We never see this. Normally we do it traditionally, right? Face to face. And learning, get yourself to be educated, get education, increase the focus on technology, and also sanitation is very, very important. Who knows, washing hands is the most important thing in 2020. With that, I thank you and I open for the question and answers. I stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Dr. NOORMALA. It was a very interesting presentation, and I'm sure they have a lot of questions. However, the question and answer session will only be given after the second speaker.
Okay, all right, okay.
Right. Yes. So let's welcome back our first speaker, Dr. GELAREH, for her presentation, which I think is ready now. Right, Dr. GELAREH? So, so I would like to welcome you to our stage or to our presentation today. So, Dr. GELAREH?
Good morning, everyone, and I'm so sorry for the technical issues that I faced. I don't know why suddenly WebEx decided that I shouldn't attend this webinar. However, I'm here now. Thank you for inviting me, and let me to share with you what I'm thinking at this point of time. Basically, when I got the invitation from the committee, I was in the middle, and still I'm doing a research about the situation of event industry during this tough time. But my main focus is to find positive points and see how this crisis could teach us new lesson or could help us to move forward and be more creative, more innovative, and think about some other things that we can do and we might neglect before. So the topic that I selected for today is mantras for post-COVID ready industry. And I will share with you what are these mantras. We are hearing depressing and undeniable facts, like in a matter of weeks, the whole global landscape has changed enormously. When it comes to tourism and events, everything has been shut down. According to UN World Tourism Organization, 60 to 80% decrease we had for in international tourism arrival. Compare it with the economic crisis in 2008, when, though it was a global economic crisis, but we only had 4% decrease in the number of international tourist arrival. So the loss is huge at this time. 95% of museums had closed, and countries had to close their World Heritage sites. Many natural and cultural heritage sites are going to face long-term difficulties, especially when it comes to conservation of the archaeological sites and archaeological discoveries. Please consider that many of museums now, they are trying to find a way to bring back the visitors. Why? Because the conservation and well-being of the objects inside the museum, it depends on the visitors. The humidity that they cause when they are breathing inside the museum. It's very interesting, but that causes interruption to the conservation of, because they don't have it now, it causes disruption to the conservation of the museum objects. And also hundreds of events have been cancelled or postponed, or even those organizers, they are not even there anymore. But perhaps change is the only constant. Change is the only constant. Even without COVID, do we really could go forward without keep changing and improving ourselves? No. So it's something that we have to and we need to embrace. And there is always a bright side. What is the bright side? The bright corner of this crisis? It's the time to learn, unlearn, and relearn. These are the mantras that we have to keep repeating and implementing for a post-COVID ready industry, whatever industry we are working. Either it's educational industry, event, tourism. We have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We have to learn what to do. We have to unlearn our old methods that they are not working anymore from this point of time forward. And we have to relearn the good skills and important factors that we tend to forget, like putting much stress on community, on domestic products, and the powers that we have within our region, inside our country, because we have been forced to limit all the international events, tourism products. And now it's time for us to get back to what the strengths that we already have, and we had it before, we just tend to neglect. So I'm going to review a bit what's happening in the world in a global picture, to see how countries and how regions are responding to this, and they are trying to get something positive out of this crisis. Well, the result of learn, unlearn, and relearn is that we will be able to pivot to survive. We are learning to upskill and reskill. We are now trying to learn how to work remotely. We are dealing with new technologies. Now we try to be more flexible. We are working from home. I'm telling you, I was interviewing lots of event companies in Malaysia, and I have learned that many of them, they have decided that actually we don't need any office, actual physical office to operate. So we can save on office expenses. And we can flexibly work without having a proper office, and still we can organize events. These are the things that we are learning and we are gaining through flexibility. And business remodeling, like this phygital, I really like this word when I approach it. They are using it nowadays, phygital events, when you have both physical and virtual events together, like hybrid events. But another word nowadays is digital events. We are more creative, and now we are thinking of safeguarding and livelihoods of our community. And we are putting more stress on community benefits. And also we try to reconnect to our community and local culture, something that we compromise a lot just to go international and to gain more benefits. Let us look at the global picture. Let us see how every region is doing to pivot to survive. Okay, I was looking at Arab states. Why I'm not putting Middle East, because most of the Arab countries, they are inside the Middle East region, because we don't have, unfortunately, data from all the Middle Eastern countries. So I just refer to few of Arab countries. The most important Islamic event for Muslims, which is Hajj pilgrimage, now this year was restricted to 1,000 people. They were talking about 1,000 to 10,000, but then they decided that only 1,000 people who are already inside the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, both foreigners and citizens. The most famous cultural market of the region, which is inside the Kuwait, Al Mubarakia, they have launched an online market. You couldn't never imagine that, because it's a very unique setting. They are, when I'm talking about cultural market, it's from spices to perfume to dressing to food, everything together. So just imagine all those variety of businesses, now they are operating online. Artworks that had been set to be sold on at the Dubai exhibition, which is the most important one at its own kind, now can be viewed online. They used to bring lots of visitors inside Dubai for that art exhibition. Egypt Ministry of Culture provided all their concerts recording through the ministry YouTube channel, free of charge for the community. Why? Because now, instead of thinking about making benefits, they are thinking about being more, to unite the community, to help them and boost them and keep them motivated. Morocco is offering virtual visits of its museum, also free of charge. Actually, this happened in many countries. And exhibitions are becoming more public and commonly used. Especially in this region, Middle East region, art exhibitions, specifically cultural exhibitions, they are designed to be for elites. But now they try to bring it to the public. They are trying to bring it to the community, which is a good sign. In Africa region, perhaps the best summary that I could see in terms of what they are doing now, I have seen it in Dr. Kobe Mansha's quote. He's a lecturer from University of Ghana Business School. I really loved the way he put it forward. He mentioned that we are overly dependent on the West, and that is itself a disaster. So now at this point of time, when they are sitting and thinking about what they need to do, they have realized that perhaps the main disaster, the main crisis for their industry, either tourism or events, is the fact that they are very much dependent on West. So COVID actually is the secondary crisis for them. And they are thinking of restructuring the tourism and event industry that they have. For your information, in many African countries, because they have a very rich natural resources and protected areas, within the protected areas, they have tribes who are living there. And those tribes, they are organizing events. They have yearly events to cater tourists as well. But mostly, they focused on foreign markets. now they are trying to have to boost the domestic tourism within the African region, which is a very good strategy. So they are actually looking back into their own people, their resources, and their skill and ability of taking the responsibility and management of their resources, and also to market it to their own people. I really love this his quote. In Europe, in Europe, they have started to include culture as part of their recovery strategy. For example, they ease restriction for filmmakers to travel within the European region because they want to have new production. I'm sure that you are all aware of this fact that many of film productions have been stopped because of this pandemic. And now they are giving them the chance to start it, and they try to ease the process for them. And also buy from small business platform. It's a platform to enhance cultural experience within the Europe. So basically, those who are providing traditional cuisine, handicrafts, and even the guide interpreters, they can promote their products and services on this online platform. And it's it covers all Europe. Propounding new alternative itineraries to place far from areas which used to be for mass tourism. This is another strategy, and this is something that they have learned. Instead of only focus on the areas which are attractive for mass tourism and big groups, and they are normal and everyday locations, they are trying to bring more sustainable itineraries. Of course, they will start it within the Europe area first, region first, and then when they can open it to all region, they will have something new to offer to the international tourists as well. Launching Europeans Cultural Close to You. This is Europe Cultural Close to You, which is a social media campaign to promote rediscovery of cultural tourism and Europeans' manifold treasure, either natural or cultural treasures. So actually, they are polishing up. You can see they are polishing up their products, tourism products, starting from tour packages to the way that they are going to present it. Of course, first within the Europe, and this will help them to kickstart the event and also tourism industry when it's safe to do so. In Latin America and Caribbean countries, Antigua and Barbuda, which they have a very important cultural event. Now for 2021, they are planning to host it for the region, within the region, and also for the countries. They are going to invite those countries who have similar epidemiological situation. So again, it will be within the region and with the most focus on domestic group of people, domestic market. The Panama Tourism Authority is launching promotional campaign. Their objective is to raise awareness about their natural and cultural heritage, and again, promote domestic tourism. So we have to consider that for a long time, always we try to go international. I'm not saying that it's a it's a bad attempt or we should ignore it. But still, you know, we tend to forget our domestic market in many aspects. And you can see countries, they are going back to thinking about the domestic market and also the community. According to General Administrator of Panama Tourism Authority, they are trying also to put much and more stress on being sustainable and having a sustainable market after this. In Asia Pacific, countries such as Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia, they put in place the measure to incentive domestic tourism as well. We can see it in Malaysia very well. Several Asian countries are attempting to create a travel bubble, including Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia. I heard that Singapore is going to start it with Australia as well. And inside Malaysia, if you want to see the arts and events response to the crisis, you will see that according to my interviews with companies, event companies, they all agreed on this point that now we are thinking of who we are. What is our company? What are the skills that we have? And what are the skills we should require? You know, they are really trying to learn, unlearn, and relearn to survive. Also, we have a rapid response grant in Malaysia, which is managed by Cendana, the Cultural Economy Development Agency under the Ministry of Finance, for artists and art organizations. They always used to have grants for artists and organizations who works on art and performing arts, art in general and performing arts. But the process was long. Now they are issuing the grant within 2 weeks. And this is amazing. MyStep, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with the collaboration with Business Event Council Malaysia and also the Malaysia Association of Convention and Exhibition Organizer and Supplier, they have developed a standard to help event organizer to operate their events in physical and real situation. And the good news is they have started already. There have been few events in the KL Convention Center during last few weeks. Going to be few events in by the end of this month in Penang, and they are gradually started to have actual events, but of course based on the standard that they have developed, and that standard is available online, and you can develop it, or you can download it and use it if you want to have face-to-face events. Okay, the summary of my discussion based on what's happening in the world. I can see now countries are using culture for solidarity, like in Lavia, the archive of Lavia folklore, they invite contribution to diaries in the time of pandemic 2020, which is a project to create sense of community and solidarity. All over the world, they are using culture for hope. Like in Syria, they held an online concert to celebrate the end of lockdown in Syria. I think Syrians, they really need that. They really need more hope, actually, rather than the pandemic issue. They use art and culture to support for artists. They try to help them, give them financial grants. I just mentioned about Cendana and the Ministry of Finance in Malaysia. They are stimulating creativity through arts and cultural adventure and activities. Like the Ministry of Culture of Cabo Verde has launched 100 Artists on Stage program on a free online platform. It was free for audience, but they paid to the artists. they use incentive and they pay to the artists to make sure that they can earn, basically to support the artists and to encourage people, to motivate people at this hard time that everyone has. And musicians in different countries, they are using culture for unity. I'm sure you have seen lots of examples that they come together from different countries and they play together, they sing together, and it's available online and you can just join and enjoy it. And it's culture for unity, events for unity. People tend and started to think that the economic gain, not only people, countries. Now we are thinking that economic gain is not the first and most important goal. We have other things that we should consider and stick to them. Because when the financial situation is not good, and when we are facing the crisis that almost all the businesses are hitting severely, what can keep us together is the unity and sense of belonging and the sense of community. So this type of activities are based on culture, arts, considering community and being more sustainable. And I can see that though it has been one of the most severe and toughest time ever for many industries, especially tourism and events, but the lesson we learn and the experience and knowledge we gain, they are really valuable, and I'm sure that they all will help us to get back to the track stronger and more creative. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm ready for any question if you have or comment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. GELAREH. That was a very fresh and innovative presentation. Alright. Okay, so we arrived to our first Q&A session. Do we have any questions so far? From the chat, I think there is not yet. There are no question. There's no questions here. Right, but I do have my questions to share with the audience about. I think it is based on Dr. Mala presentation just now. So, what do you think about all this innovative and futuristic dining experience that we used to have previously? Do you think is there any way that we can still continue doing so during this pandemic time? Any suggest for any?
Right. The continuity of those kind of service style, I would say could possibly resume. It is possible. It's just a matter of coming back strong and also doing it better. But currently, probably because of the uncertainty and because due to the demand, and there's no point. I mean, I agree with Dr. GELAREH when she said that economic is not the only thing that we should focus on too. I mean, there are many other things, psychological effects, happiness and everything also is crucially important. I mean, or at least is very same important, but due to the time right now, it's not the time to eat on the sky or at the sky because of the uncertainty. You know, many people right now are very how do I say, very careful in terms of where they go, very careful in terms of what they eat. It is no longer like before, where we are very carefree about some of the things. And this time around, people are very cautious about their whereabouts. So yes, it could possibly resume and coming back strong, but during this uncertainty, I don't see it coming anytime soon. Yeah.
That is too bad, right?
Yes.
For all the experience.
Correct.
I'm sure that a lot of missing all the experience that they used to have before, and I'm sure there are still a lot of us actually who still want to take the risk to go outside to have that dining experience, or they will just have those diners sent to their home through food delivery. So these questions I have for both of you, Dr. Mala and Dr. GELAREH, I think it's now the time for technology to take some part of our life, like more than half, I think, that we have to go for food delivery, in order to have our, sometimes we couldn't have the time to cook, so we have to go for this type of food delivery. And then for event, this is the time that we have to go for digital event. We just need it. We just need to get the information or interact with people around us from all over the world. So it's the digital time now. So what do you think the skills that are needed for those who are in F&B business and for event business and tourism? I can start with Dr. NOORMALA first.
Okay. The thing is, with food and beverage, we have, like I said, we have layers of types of services. We have from the street food to the up in the sky kind of serving or kind of ambience. And within all this, they offer a different kind of market. Right. So when we want to put everything lock, stock and barrel into the delivery or turn it into digital, it is sort of pointless, because like I said, when we serve food, be it in the river or eat by the river or eat up in the sky, those are still food, but they are selling not only food, they are selling experience. But if we are going to convert it into the delivery methodology, then probably the experience offering is no longer there. So that's why I said not everything that we can put into digital, especially when it comes to tourism event. All these are not only offering tangible products, we are offering also another intangible part of the product, which is the service, ambience, experience, value, and all those things. So within this short time period of time, it will take some time. The concert, yes, I agree, it's coming back now, because like I said, we need to divert our needs and wants to something else, not only for the survival of the business and money and dollars sign, but also we need to be entertained, we need to travel, we need to vent out a little bit of all those, the pressure and everything. So having said this, not everything can be turned into digital. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Mala. What about you, Dr. GELAREH? What do you think the skills needed for digital event organizer?
What are the skills needed for digital event organizers?
Yeah.
Well, I think you need to get familiar with every application available, and you not to say every, but then at least the major one. Communication skills, it's very important now, because now the only things you have is you need to communicate through emails, WhatsApp. You don't have the chance of communicating face to face that much. So we have to enhance, rather than the technology, we all need to enhance our communication skills. Different type of communication skills. Now, our written communication skill should be polish up because we need it now. We are communicating more through emails. But in terms of technology, of course, many of us, even me myself, unfortunately, I'm not much familiar with new technologies and I'm learning now. I'm trying to learn. But if you are event organizer, of course, as the organizer, you have to learn as much as you can, or you should hire experts, because I'm sure in the future we are going to even be more dependent on technology, and for that matter we may need to hire experts for certain specific type of it. So basically it's a skill for students, especially it's gonna be a very in-demand skill for you if you're trying to furnish yourself with such a skills. I believe that there will be a very good opportunity for you in the market.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think this is the time for us to learn, right, GELAREH? So here we have 3 questions. Okay, we will start with Dr. GELAREH. This question is for you. Soon Wei I from UUM, she has a question about the criteria that a company should have in facing this pandemic. I wonder what type of criteria and
okay. I don't know if soon. I think she's one of our students, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm glad. Well, I'm not glad because of this pandemic, but I'm glad that all of us now we can see the real situation. Because when we were discussing crisis management and risk assessment during our classes, you never ever take it serious. Before this, I could see most of the events that you have organized, most of us, we tend to neglect the hygiene part or a perfect risk assessment. We never think that crisis might happen, and it might happen to us. Now this is the real situation. The first thing that you should consider, not at this time, all the time, you have to be ready for any type of risk, including crisis. So risk assessment, risk documentation, documenting all your contingency plan, and learning from previous lessons. That's very important. Now I'm doing a research on organizational learning through crisis, and I can see many of companies, unfortunately, they have only short-term strategy. That won't work. Because you don't know. We had SARS and now we have COVID. God knows what's next. If you don't really have the strategy for such incident, and when we say a strategy, means you have to document it, you have to record it, and those information must be ready for you to get back to them and learn and modify. This is the only way. And those companies, those businesses who fail to do so, of course, with any new situation and problem, they will face a big issue in their business.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. GELAREH. There's another question for Dr. GELAREH. What will be your advice to those employees in tourism industry that have been terminated? What should they do while waiting for this to be over?
Don't wait. My advice is don't wait while you are waiting and wasting the time. There are many ways. You have to be creative, you have to be innovative, but how you can do it, unfortunately, we are just normal human beings. We are not Prophet Muhammad to sit and receive wahy from Allah, right? So because we are normal human beings, the way is open your laptop, start doing research. Even as a lecturer, I try to learn from other countries. I do research to see what's happening all over the world, not only in Malaysia. Broaden your horizon and then see what others are doing. Try to learn, try to be creative. There are lots of opportunity even at this point of time for you. But of course, they are not coming to knock the door. You have to go search and find them and implement them. There are lots of opportunity if you really do research.
I agree with you, Dr. GELAREH. We shouldn't be waiting. Okay, I think this will be the last question for our session. Dr. Mel, this question is for you. What should an SME business, I think, do to survive since they don't have enough resources?
Okay, thank you very much. From Shinta, I suppose, that question.
Yes.
Yeah. It is highly recommended for SME business who are searching for survival skill is to start searching or adopting flexible business strategy, like for example, try to find new line of business if that particular the current business are no longer running strongly, then probably we can switch to other. For example, I take example, before person X opened a business, a food business establishment, or maybe small restaurant, but due to the MCO and all this strict SOP, they switch to selling hand sanitizer and face mask. And be in mind that those highly demanded items are could be selling at high price, and at the same time meaning to say that that particular person is making money. So what I'm trying to say here is that to adapt or to adopt a flexible business strategy, or to search for new line of business, what are the current issue, what are the current product. And another example is to start embracing online marketing strategy, or learn how to do e-commerce. All this take free courses over the net that are widely available. So these are the things that SME operators start doing, no longer highly depending on the grants or the loans or the assistance given by the government, which is good. Take it. I mean, if you are allowed to take it, and if you have the capacity to take it, then go ahead. But if not, then it is time to sit down and think about new line of business, or start searching for education and educate yourself. Get yourself informed with the current information. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mala, for your insight. Right, so we end our session, and we'll proceed to our second session for presentation, which we will have Madam ROZI Yuliana. Oh, sorry, my apology, ROZI Yuliani. She's currently served as Dean of Faculty Tourism, Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, Sarjana Sains Terapan Pariwisata, Magister Pariwisata from Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat. So today, she will share with us her insight on the local wisdom for ecotourism development in new normal era. So, Madam ROZI, can have.
Nah, dari Rozi nih Kak. Just wait a minute, I still have trouble in my internet connections, and I will try to solve it. Wait a minute, please. Saya nggak bisa ya Pak. Pak. Wait a minute, Muna and the participant, I do apologize for this trouble.
It's okay, madam. Yeah, sometimes things like this happen in the
Yeah. Pak, dah keluar di situ lah. Dah keluar bahan berarti di situ. The slide still loading.
Have the Is there any laptop near you, Madam Rosie?
Oh yes, I have, but I'm still not sharing my slide to the trias, but because the trouble of my internet connection from this event from this morning, so I have difficult. Okay, how about I chat with Mr. Eddie NOVRA for this chance, and when the time for Mr. Eddie NOVRA, I will share my slide.
I'm not sure. Okay, maybe we can have Mr. Eddie to contact, or maybe we can get Dr. NURUL SYAZANA first, or Mr. Eddie. Are you okay to start?
Are you Eddie?
Is Mr. Eddie with you? Madam Rosie?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Eddie NOVRA with me.
I see. All right. So, if we can have Mr. Eddie together with us, we'll check with the system.
Committee for my trouble this morning.
This morning. You can continue with this presentation?
Yep. Just 1 minute.
Okay, all right. First, before you start, let me just introduce you. All right, so Mr. Eddie, can we have the slide introduction for Mr. Eddie?
Actually, I'm just loading it. I just heard everyone can listen.
Before you start your presentation, we actually will have like a slide for to introduce you to our guests.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Dr. Okay, before we start, Mr. Eddie, okay, I want to introduce you first to our guest. All right, so Mr. Eddie NOVRA is a sarjana. He is sarjana Sains Terapan Pariwisata and Magister of Pariwisata from University of Muhammadiyah of Sumatra Barat. Today he will be sharing with us the topic entitled Tourism Strategies Amidst Pandemic. So Mr. Eddie, thank you for being ready. You can have the stage now.
Okay. Thank you very much for your invitation for me to be a part of this kind of webinar. And of course, I'm proud that I'll be here so everyone can you hear me clearly, Una, for everyone?
Clear, Mister.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, I would love to talk about the strategy of the tourism strategy amid pandemic, and everyone, we all know that so I have a problem to move this down though. Okay, Mona, could you just use yours because it seems like mine doesn't work.
Okay, Mr. Eddie. Maybe we can have your slide to be controlled by our admin.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you? Is everything okay now?
Yeah, I'm using yours, right? Because mine doesn't work.
All right. So, Mr. Eddie, if you need to proceed to the next slide, you can just say next.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, Mr. Eddie, you can start.
Okay, please go next. Okay, the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, affect tourism around the world, right? So including West Sumatra and Indonesia, of course. Right now, all the places is closed, especially in tourism. Uh, Tourism activities, of course, and many places closed due to because there is no visitor at all, and there is no activities. All the thing is going down. We really have a problem from those, and many tourists businesses are collapsed in Indonesia, and of course in West Sumatra. West Sumatra, actually, we are not even number 10 in Indonesia for tourism, but we've been quite good on that on the beginning, especially early of 1990, and then our tourism is grows very good. But after the president of us, Suharto, stepped aside, and the fire, and after the Bali bomb, and virus like uh, and dingy and everything, all the tourism is going down. But in the last 5 years, actually, we go back, and most of tourists are back to West Sumatra. And then now this is what happened with a coronavirus. Okay, let's go next. And then for the coronavirus, actually, our minister, the minister of tourism, make a new regulation against this, especially we all go to every subject, for example, like every campus, a school, and market everywhere, and we start to make, especially like economic creative, the ministry make a kind of new regulation, which is to keep clean, good, healthy, and safety, which has a new normal protocol for the healthy. And then our government start to do the socialization for the public, and which is of course we started for the simulation, and every campus in Indonesia we have new regulation now, that's to use masks and to use hand sanitizer, and it's the same like everywhere in the world. And of course it's hard because people still don't trust if the virus actually affect their life. And then it's more like it's more people are more thinking about this is just to scare us, to scare people. That's what everyone thought in the beginning. But after many places people get affected, in West Matra actually it's getting in the beginning it was so slow to come, but right now for this moment many places closed. Also come the university, some university in West Matra is closed now, and they start to do lockdown, and because it's so hard to socialization to student or to people, especially like in market. And then we did try last time. Our government did try to close our area, especially West Matra province, from any visitor, and then spray every building with disinfectant, and then try to socialization for about what to consume, and how to live together with this pandemic. And then we did also a trial run in some place, like especially like a government office, because right now in West Matra, many people, even one of the vice and mayor of the town in West Matra get affected, and then one of the mayor, he also passed away because of the coronavirus. And this kind of case, we got to be serious on treat the coronavirus by socialization, more socialization actually. Next, please. Okay, and what we did, what the local government, especially Bukit Tinggi, did, all the tourism employer required to take the PCR swab test, and we did that already. And in our town, near our in our campus area, Padang and Bukit Tinggi, and actually we don't have that many people get affected, but in city of Padang, yeah, they do have a lot. And then but swab tests on the beginning were people have to pay, right? But now our university make it free for everyone who seems like they get it, they get corona, affected by coronavirus. And then the government also providing like a vitamin and reminding healthy lifestyle, and some good thing that I haven't seen before in my town. That's everyone start biking around, or run every morning and consume vitamin. And now it's good that people start to wear mask and face shield and everything. Okay. And then we also accommodating hand wash in every spot, especially in tourist destination. And actually, Bukit Tinggi is one of the main tourism area in West Matra, and every tourist destination they have to provide this in every corner, though. Okay, next. And for hotel accommodation in West Matra, there is a new regulation that to limiting the occupancy of the every floor. For example, like some hotel, let's say they have 20 rooms in one floor, they only allowed to feed it like 50% from these rooms. And then every room, of course, they have to have sanitizer outside of the room, so everyone they have to keep clean. And then even many hotel now they provide breakfast in bed, in bed. And then, or if they go to the restaurant, the meals will be provided by somebody from the hotel will provide it. And then at the check-in time, they will provide a cutlery for each guest. So each guest will use the cutlery, same cutlery every day. So we don't share anymore though. And then of course when they check out, and then they have to leave those kind of thing. And then also for the guests, they're really uh, forbidding them to bring any other people from outside. And so for meeting, and they have to keep a distance, and then hotel employee also like that. It's not everyone work at the same time anymore. Some hotel in West Sumatra, let's say they have 400 employee, they only make them working maybe 100 at the same day. So they have to do that, and then everything going a bit slow, but it seems like it's work. It's work for the hotels. Okay, please next. Okay, and West Sumatra actually also this destination for meeting or MICE, and we have some meeting house or hotel for a meeting, and we have also some halls for meeting. But of course, the regulation is slightly the same with the hotel, as everyone will join the meeting. Of course, the PCR swab test is required for every participant. And it's mean like a day before everyone will be a swab test, and then the meeting also the participant will be limited, so cannot there is no more meeting which is 1,000 of people in one. It's a group of people, like a big amount of people like that. There is no more like that. And then participant also must wear mask, and also you hand sanitizer to every person. They should have it. So there is no more shaking hand, and no more like laughing, and because adjusting the distance. Also, there is no more like entertainment sharing. So there is no more music on that one, and it's more. Yeah. The most important that the meeting run, but the protocol is working. And then it's the same like the room. Also, food must be delivery in packets. So we don't share like a big bar, like a French dinner, not like that anymore. So everyone will be handing by somebody else to every participant. Okay, next please. Okay, restaurant. We West Sumatra is very famous with the food, right? Because Padang food is one of the food that people looking for, especially for Indonesian tourists, and I think for Malaysian tourists also. They want to try rendang, of course, and everyone will try asam padeh and so on. And then what happened now in every restaurant, we have to provide hand wash station before the entrance. So actually, it's very close to the Muslim way. So every time Muslim way in West Sumatra, that's every house before we enter, we always provide water or a water tank outside of the house, and wash hand, wash feet, and everything, and enter the house. And that's what happened now to every restaurant too in West Sumatra. We provide the hand wash, and then everyone wash their hand, and then inside of the restaurant we limit the seat. So seat is not like what in the picture. That's traditionally it's like that, but no more this kind of traditional things. So even parties, any wedding party and everything, we cannot do it in a restaurant anymore. And then we also provide the packaging for the food beverage. So especially for the local people, we have to we make a kind of program that people can order meals. Then they send it to every houses who need food though. And then time limit. Every restaurant is only allowed to be open. Start some restaurant or coffee shop. They of course start early in the morning because people looking for breakfast. And then of course by the regulation is seat limit and everything. And then for the big restaurant, they only allowed to open from 10 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon. So there is no more activities in the evening. And then table and chair, they make it less than usually. And it's it's pity, there's a lot of restaurants are so close now. And then we provide online order. That's another strategic that's worked very good actually. Even the hotel guests, they also order their own things like or pisang goreng or ketan, so or lemang, and it's available to be ordered to many restaurants. And then next, please. Travel agent. This is the most hardest part uh, in Indonesia. Travel agent, more than 60% are closed now. More than 60%, especially in West Sumatra. And of course, we talk a lot about this and what to do and how to be uh, how can you be survive from this pandemic. What they did actually, the plan like a virtual tour. Of course, this is cannot be a virtual tour cannot be they only be seen by a screen like this. But of course, they don't need so much employee. Virtual tour only make to make sure that the owner of travel agent and some group of people there can still live, can still make some money, and then limiting tourists in the bus. So most of bus in West Sumatra has 40 seats, 30 seats, 20 seats. And now what we do, buses only 50% of the passenger, and then tourist bus and tour leader are required to wear masks. So uh, every tourist who enter the bus and the travel agents should prepare masks for them, prepare also face shield, and then of course hand sanitizer also outside. And then another strategic that's we promote our tour to a neighbor province, which is not using a plane though. So, for example, like tourists from Jakarta or from Malaysia or from Surabaya, and it is a bit hard because they have to be on the plane, and we also afraid that when they arrive in this area, they are um, uh, reactive from the COVID. That's a problem because they have to be isolated, right? So that's why neighbor province they will drive their own car to this area, or let's say they will come by bus, and then we make sure that they have kind of letter that's to be sure they are free from the COVID-19. And then another one is outbound activities. This is very popular before in West Sumatra because we have canyon, we have lake, we have very beautiful beach, and then this kind of activities is actually not allowed anymore in West Sumatra. And for like FIT travel tourists, and they can still do that one because they only come with their family, and then there will be not a big group of people in that case. And then for a car, like we what we do is putting a glass barrier between driver and passenger, and it's mean only a car or van. And then at least this is to make a distance. Of course, it's hard for the car, but that's what we do. And then PCR test is required for tourists and tour leader and tour guide especially. What we do every time they're going to pick the client, and then they have to do a PCR swab test, and then also after the tour. So they have to do it, and they have to enjoy it though. Okay, next please. Next, Una. Okay, and for public transport buses, actually slightly I was saying about that, but what we do is reducing seat. So take most of seat out and leave several seat, so to make sure there will be a distance between people. And then if the seat cannot be take it out, of course we make a sign like putting a distance between the seat and like a cross, like most of place in Indonesia is like that, and I'm sure in Malaysia also like that. And then providing mask or hand sanitizer for every passenger, and we do it seriously. So and then travel limitation, and West Sumatra, we have quite a lot of tourist camps, but also many West Sumatran people are traveling, and then in a big group. But now we don't do that anymore. We, for example, like one group arrive, and we always limit the number. Maximal for one big bus, that's only 22 people. And for a car, of course, a family, that's not a matter. But for the medium bus, is only like 12 people or 14 people now. And then checking on every passenger travel between cities. So everyone coming from another cities, we did that one too in the border of the town to make sure that's they are okay and in good condition. It's not what do you call it? Their time is not too high, for example. And then another one is PCR swab test for tourists from another province. This is normally every province in Indonesia already made kind of regulation that everyone who's going to travel, they have the swab test and they have to carry some kind of letter to make sure they are fine. And then when they arrive in for example, like the airport of West Sumatra, what we do is we also check again, just to be sure that they are safe. And next, please. Okay, souvenir shop. This is especially for a female traveler. They are going to West Sumatra. Most of the people, they are going to buy like embroidery and everything. Usually, traveler, they are entering inside of the gallery, and then they will touch everything, and those kind of thing. We cannot do it anymore. We provide and wash, of course, like others, and then we put souvenir inside display window. So all the thing what they sell, they will provide a kind of display right in the front, so people can tell what color they want, and then also they cannot really talk a lot anymore, because between the seller and then the buyer, there will be a kind of transparent barrier in the front. So, and because many people, there are not disciplined with using face shield, so at least we do this too, to make sure everyone is safe. And then limiting a store employee. It's the same like hotel. The employee of the souvenir shop also we limit it. So it's not too crowded now. And then cashless transaction bearing barcode or QR code. So it's since February this year, our government already made a kind of barcode to every tourist destination, also souvenir shop and hotel. Actually, also we did the same, and restaurant with a QR code. Next, please. Okay, tour leader. This is a poor tour leader, because tour leader, every single tour they going to pick at the airport or harbor or bus station. They need to rapid test and PCR swab test first, and then every day tour guide, they have to use a face shield and mask, and every tour leader, they must bring also hand sanitizer, and just like the other regulation, and then talking in a right distance. So I know this is a bit hard for the tour leader, but this is what happened now. We make a distance, so every tour leader or tour guide, they have to carry their own speakers or wireless, so to make sure people can hear the tour guide, and then of course not as clear as usually in the past, but it's worked quite good actually. And then another thing that's not wandering anywhere after tour. So, you know, a tour guide or tour leader or even a driver, they usually, when the tour break, they always sit together and have a chat to each other. And this is not allowed anymore. And we did this, and this is worked very good actually. And even many of them are complaining because you cannot chat at each other anymore. But anyway, life must go, must continue, you know. So they have to work, and their family have to live. So we have to use this kind of things. And then consuming healthy food as a fruit and you know, no more junk meals and sit in the restaurant like that. Next, please. Okay, that was it. I can say all the activities in West Sumatra. It has to follow the rule of the government and the rule of organization and the rule of every hotel and restaurant. And actually, what we did so far, it's worked quite good. Even we cannot get what we have get before, of course, and it's hard. It's hard, but hopefully it's worked good. And of course, we all hope that COVID-19 is gone by the end of this year. Hopefully, inshallah. I think that was it. That's what I can say for now. And thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Inshallah, hopefully everything will continue and resume like we normally have before, right? Okay, I'm sure there are questions. Keep them coming. You can put in the chat panel, and we will have those questions answered during our question and answer session after our fourth presentation. All right. So thank you very much, Mr. Eddie. It was very insightful information that we have about West Sumatra. We'll see you again after this for Q&A session. All right. So next we will proceed with Dr. NURUL SYAZANA, our fourth speaker, fourth presentation. Anyone want to tell me what is the first main idea? We will have Dr. NURUL SYAZANA. All right. She is an expert in teaching and learning technology. Currently teaching at School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management in strategic management courses. And she is also the expert in the field of food delivery. In order to show non-violent resistance, we should use moral means, moral ways.
Thank you, Dr. Muna. Can you listen to my... Can Dr. Muna listen to my voice?
Refusing to inflict violence on our enemies. No violence. First, we must use moral ways. What are moral ways? There are moral ways that you can use in order. She did have her sharing about global asking people to go to the streets and do demonstration, for example. Okay, what are moral ways? Okay, maybe by sending a memorandum, okay? By sending a letter. You can start.
Can you listen to my voice?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's quite
far.
On one's enemies. And no violence, even though these are our enemies, no violence.
Okay.
And number three,
Okay.
using suffering.
Let me share my slide.
Social force. Suffering here, any example that you can give? How come it's non-violent, but you use suffering?
Let me share my slide.
Given by my student in the previous class is, he said, Madam, I think for example, when the bus drivers, they stop their operation because maybe they are not satisfied with certain policies implemented on them, so they stop their operation. Okay, could be using suffering. So who will suffer? Both parts will suffer. The operators themselves maybe will suffer because they stop.
Okay. Can you see my slide?
But the passengers also will suffer. Yes, we can see.
Okay. Firstly, I would like to thank you for the host of the Ecotourism Challenge webinar 2020 for inviting me to be the speaker for this webinar. Today, I would like to present myself, introduce myself. My name is NURUL HISHAMUDDIN, lecturer in hospital in the School of Tourism, Hospitality and Event Management, University of Malaysia. Thank you for the good introduction, Dr. Muna. I am currently I would not say an expert. I am also still learning to be an expert in technology. So my focus will be on the e-tourism and e-retailing in food service actually. So my focus will be, I really like focus on the topic of food delivery, online food delivery, such as in Malaysia we got Food Panda, and also I know that in Indonesia we got very popular with Gojek, Go Food, I think. So and there's a lot of a lot of online food delivery in the world. But today my topic will be on the globalization and the impact on local food attractiveness. Okay, as you can see, I got a really interesting. This one is a local food of Malaysia, nasi lemak. I'm sure you will really wanted to eat this nasi lemak. You see this picture, okay? Okay. What is globalization? I will focus on firstly the talking about the globalization, and then going on inside, and then talking about the impacts of the globalization. So globalization is already a very known word. It's all buzzword, have been talk since decades ago. So when we are small, when I'm small, I already know what is globalization. People are saying about it. My teacher always would say about globalization, but I really didn't know what is globalization at that time. So, but this is a two definition given by our previous study. One is by Morford and Mann, 1998. Morford said that globalization is an essential process by which an ever-tightening network of ties that cuts across national political boundaries connect community in a single interdependent whole, a shrinking world where local differences are steadily eroded and subsumed within a massive global social order. So Morford's definition is really quite difficult to understand, but I will focus on Cohen and Eric definition. That Cohen said that globalization has led to a removal of worldwide scale of barrier, economic, political, and cultural, to free movement of people, community, resource, knowledge, communication, and lifestyle. So what we can say here, both of them are really saying that the global have become more tightened. There's no more boundaries among our culture. So there's no more boundaries among the country, among the worldwide. So we can go to everywhere in the world easily. So we can maybe previously, before the COVID is coming, so Malaysian go to Indonesian really maybe we go into everywhere in the world as we wanted to. That's how the things happens. So what globalization? How the globalization actually happens?
Sometimes we need to define this definition. What does this mean?
Okay. This is I found the study by Larry 2015. Larry saying there's a 5 barriers drivers to globalization, and what have okay. And this globalization, this driver will lead to, I will show you, it will lead to into the globalization of tourist industry and market. Why is it important to understand this globalization? Because it also really impacts toward our COVID, post-COVID, after this and during COVID, okay? This is really important because from this globalization, we know how the tourism happen and why is the importance of international tourists and also the global and national global tourists and also the domestic tourists is really important. So firstly, we're looking at the economic drivers. So globalization happened because increasing of income. So there are some countries that have more income than our country. For example, UK have more income. Maybe they wanted to trade in the country. So global trade happened. So there are also financial market force where also it become that there's a global trade where there's an import and export. There's also global competition where, for example, nowadays we can see UK and China have a global competition between both of the countries. That is because of all of them have a increasing income. They have excesses of income among the countries, so they can go to another country and invest in another country. So another one is technological driver. So there are 4 technological drivers. The first one is the transport revolution. As I mentioned previously, globalization is an old buzzword. So we already know that previously, in the old time, in old time beings, that about 90s maybe, there whereby we cannot transport, we cannot go to another country because there are no transportation. For example, maybe previously we don't have any airport or low-cost airport such as AirAsia in Malaysia. So there's also another low-cost airline country for airline companies such as in the UK, and it's very famous with Ryanair. There is a transport revolution that allows tourists to travel to another country. So they also the information and communication revolution, whereby in 1998 when the internet started to develop, people are going to all company are going to the internet, starting to develop their own website that allow people that allow them to be present at the website, and that's allow consumer to search for their information through the website. Okay, another one is social media platform. So nowadays we can see there's a lot of social media platform. Previously we got a very famous, maybe not sure whether you have heard of it. Previously we got MySpace, a very early social media platform. We also got Friendster, but all of these platforms already have been gone all over, and it have been evolved in another type of social media platforms, such as a very famous one right now is Facebook, a very famous one. We also have IG or Instagram. They also TikTok. We also call this a social media platform because people wanted to share their own feeling or share their own perception about inside the platform. So that is for the entertainment part, but there also a social media platform that are focused on professional ones such as LinkedIn. So all of these is also is a driver for the globalization. So the next one is a social driver. Social driver like consumerism, education and skill. For example, we are going to right now we are doing a webinar to share our skills and also share our knowledge with another one. This is also a social driver that leads to the globalization. Maybe we wanted to study in abroad to understand or to learn a new skill that it haven't got in our country. So that's all the social driver that lead to the globalization. Now another one is the demographic driver, such as population increase, change in the age structure, increase in social mobility, spread of education, improve in health status, urbanization, growing ethnic diversity. The political driver also lead to the drivers of globalization, such as the development of trade bloc, privatization, World Institute, and many more. But all of this lead to the globalization of tourism industry. What it happened to the tourism industry that for example, in one country, for example, the globalization have helped to lead to the economic growth. So, for example, a lot of tourists coming to our country and a lot of international tourists coming to our country. The effect is will be on the employment of inside the country. There's many more investment have come in. There's a lot of investment in hotel. And for example, there's a lot of investment. The staff will be employed a lot. So it will improve our economy as people are starting to have their own job employment and they all have their own salary. There's also spread of technical knowledge. People get to know new technology skill, for example, as previously we doesn't know maybe about new applications. So maybe previously we don't have any online food ordering apps, but however, because of the technological spread, we also have our own online takeaway food apps. So the globalization also have lead to the new market, new demographic. For example, if you go to United Kingdom, there's a new we can say that the community, a new community, for example, the Chinese people have created a new demographic there by opening maybe a Chinatown. And also, if you go to anywhere in the world, you can see there also Chinatown actually. Okay, another one is political effect, environmental effect, and social effect. These all have to will lead to the globalization of tourism industry and market. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I will say, what to define is the local food attractiveness. What is local food actually? Local food is actually related to our local culture and the identification of a location. Obijo and Competence say 2016 saying that it is an iconic cuisine or dishes that known by as every country is characterized by its national and regional. So different countries have their own unique local food actually. I would say that local food actually is a symbol or brand to a certain country or a certain place. Because when we go to another place, when we go to the country, people or tourists will go to there and want to experience their place. For among the things that they want to experience is the local food. So they will remember the place as they taste the local food. So for example, this is a picture of Cropos laiko. It's a snake made from the fish from Terengganu. When I remember about talking about Cropos, I remember Terengganu and East Coast of Malaysia. This is also have been talked about in Dr. Mel presentation because it remind me there's no Cropos that are very good as Cropos in Terengganu and Kelantan because of they are known because of their uniqueness and they know how to make the snack are really good. But compared to another country, you may find Cropos that is good as it, but it cannot be compared because they are the expert of doing that snack or doing that cuisine. Okay, this is number one the country. Okay, when we talk about another country and the identity of another country, when we talk about pizza, we know that pizza is related to another country. So a tourist remember that I have eat a pizza. The best eating pizza I can experience is in Italy. So I have been experiencing pizza in Italy. But when I go to Malaysia or when I go to another country, for example, in Kuala Lumpur or eating pizza in Pizza Hut, it doesn't not have the same taste as a pizza we went experience in Italy. So when I ate pizza, I remember is Italy the best pizza in the world. So this another picture that maybe all of you may not familiarize, but it's a really popular thing to do right now. The Korean, K-pop and everything that related to kimchi. Most of us right now are really addicted, maybe influenced with K-pop culture. So they wanted to try because of the maybe addiction to K-pop. They wanted to try kimchi also, and they have influenced a lot of kimchi inside their food. So they also that Malaysian there's also Malaysian that started to doing a new business that trying to make their own kimchi because they couldn't find the kimchi that suitable for their taste palette. So another one is tom yum. Okay, many people know tom yum. Tom yum is just a border near the Malaysia. So when we talk about tom yum, we already know it's Thailand. So there's no place that you can get the best tom yum, but you can go to Thailand but in Malaysia we can see there's a lot of tom yum place, and there's also a lot of people from Thailand that are very expert in cooking the tom yum. So we have no problem in getting a good tom yum in Malaysia. But if you go to the UK or another country in Europe, you maybe have problem in getting a good tom yum because there are not many people or not many expert in cooking tom yum around Europe. So the last picture is about the fish and chip. Maybe most of you don't know that fish and chip are originally from the British. They are very famous. I would say famous because when we talk about fish and chip, they originally are from the British. So, but we can, if we go to Malaysia or anywhere in the world, we can find fish and chip. Especially in Malaysia, if we go to Western food, we call it as Western food because they are serving food that related to the Western or European or American food. So they will serve fish and chip. So that is what all the globalization is all about. We can taste all the food all around the world in our country. I did that we wanted to do a tourism Malaysia marketing. We have started in the end of 2019, but however after the COVID-19 was announced in March, we have to cancel all the tourism Malaysia promotional. So the next one is the risk of bankruptcy in airline industry. Right now we have very have a risk of in our airline country. The most affected is our airline industry. Both of them, Malaysian Airline and Asia, we cannot do anything about it anymore. But the government is also cannot do anything about it. But yeah, we're trying to struggle about it and trying to help it. Okay, this is a hotel cancellation due to pandemic. As I mentioned before, that the impact of pandemic COVID-19 have really affected in hotel cancellation at all. The numbers of each country have really cancellation about, and it have lost about 23,000 billions in Malaysia. So hotel and tourism industry are really affected among this one. But what is really important? But it's really affected. So most of the tourism and also the local country is really affected with the COVID-19. Before pandemic 19, all can go to the country, visiting another country. For example, this in India, we can get a mass gathering and celebrating the festival. And this is in the Prague, where people can just walk through and just enjoying the view. But however, due to the COVID-19, we cannot do anything. There's only one people maybe walk across and just enjoying the view. There's we wanted less to go to the crowd. People are started to stay safe and taking care of their family and their self. But what can we do to promote the local culture? Because of the globalization, we cannot go to outside. So what I found through my research and through my study, that even though there are no local tourism Malaysia cannot do the promotion, they are started to do promotion through the internet. If you can go to the YouTube and search for example, nasi lemak in Korea. Okay, this is among the YouTube that I found that this is a promotion by the Tourism Malaysia. They find a very popular YouTubers among Malaysian that Malaysian like. So they are hosting they sponsor your YouTuber and make them to do a promotion thing about nasi lemak. So there's another YouTuber that also like to say about nasi lemak and Malaysian food. So it really is the thing that the Tourism Malaysia started to do a promotional about the Tourism Malaysia, although if COVID doesn't still ended yet. Maybe they are started to doing a promotion for the strategy after the COVID. So after this, another type of maybe an agency or maybe tourism agency in another country, maybe who have to start their own promotion of their own country by doing, maybe one of the way is by using YouTube. Another way is by using Shopee. What I found is really interesting about Shopee because even though that maybe some of you have been to Bandung, but I never been to Bandung. But what I found interesting is we can get a pisang salai Bandung, but when we talk about the pisang salai Bandung, we maybe those who have been to Bandung maybe remember about pisang salai Bandung and how it tastes like, and that make them remember to go into the Bandung. So we don't have to, in this time of COVID, maybe we cannot go to travel to another country and another to Bandung, but we can buy anything inside Bandung, inside the Shopee, inside the e-commerce platform. So this is one of the way that we can sell. So what I say is here that using the technology and e-commerce is very important. So start to promote your product, even though we cannot travel to another country, even though we cannot promote our country even though we cannot promote our country to make sure that tourists come, but we can promote it through by selling the taste of the feeling that make sure that people or the tourists remember about our country. So what is important so try to do the e-commerce by using the social media, Facebook and so on, because this will make sure that after the COVID, the tourists will wanted to come because of they remember the taste palette of the country that they used to go. Okay, that's all from my place. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nurul Shazana. Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nurul Shazana. It was a very interesting ideas that you have shared just now. I'm sure there are questions that some of our viewers had, but maybe they are too shy to send the question. Okay, for now, there are still no questions yet in chat panel. Alright, so I can see. But I have question for both of you, Mr. Eddie and Dr. Nurul Shazana. So for our Q&A session, Q&A session, part 2 now, I would like to start with a question to Mr. Eddie. So regarding some of the standard of operations that have been done in West Sumatra, is there any penalty or fine that was given to those who disobey the rule? Like they didn't wear the mask or sanitize. Is there any penalty given, Mr. Eddie? Is Mr. Eddie there?
Can you repeat the question, please? Can you say question again, because I cannot hear you
Oh,
clearly?
sorry. Okay, yeah. All right. So my question is, if there is people out there who disobey from wearing the mask, they forget to wear the mask, are they given penalty or fine?
Yes. So now, for example, like a person walking around no mask, that will be a penalty. They have to pay fine. They have to pay. So in West Sumatra, for somebody who have no mask walking around, that will be 200,000 rupiah. And then for a driver which has a passenger inside, no mask, they will take his license. So, and for everybody, there will be a penalty. They have to pay fine.
So
Hello?
does this the situation affect the president of Indonesia? How do they handle this fine? So so people start to wearing it.
We have a kind of a rule that is that make from the governor of the province, of every province. Every province has different rule, right? For example, in Jakarta is more strong, but in West Sumatra we have like it's a big weak rule. But anyway, It's worked quite good actually. They need to be like very pushy, and they just did it like they use police, or they use kind of local. We have a kind of police too, but which is belong to the province, and they are working for that one, and they are the one who check. And if as soon as they see somebody with no mask, and that's a problem. Or as soon as they see somebody uh, standing somewhere with a big group, and then even with mask, they still they have also a kind of regulation that they just break, because you're not allowed to be to stay with a group of people.
So, Mr. Eddie also mentioned about the time of the operation of this business. It was from 10 to 6, doesn't it? So what
Yes.
about at night? Is there no activity at all for this?
No, time limit is not for everything, only for the restaurant. And there will be no more coffee shop at night. You cannot find any coffee shop at night anymore. Maybe you can find some kind of pisang goreng or teh talua beside the road. Somebody who sell it like a boulevard. So people standing beside the road bring kind of small box. That they make it themselves, but it's take away. You cannot bring it there and not eat it there.
I see. Okay. So there is still a lot of the food that we can taste at night, but not so much option, is it?
Yeah, actually, still much. The only different that you can eat it there. You have to take it away.
No, I see.
Yeah, that's a different now.
So that's such a waste then. Okay, all right. So that's all I think for Mr. Eddie for now. But I was very interested with the virtual tour, especially with places like Bali, right? How can we have
Yeah.
tour but virtually to Bali, right? We miss Bali so much. How do you think we
Ah,
can do a virtual tour in Bali?
that's not difficult things. We can talk about that.
Okay. Uh, a lot of us miss going there. Okay. Dr. Shazana, I have one question from for Dr. Shazana. You know who's the question come from? They asked about how do you plan or manage proposal project for last semester student before they graduate in this pandemic situation
So,
related to the school.
yes, also related to the thank you for the question. Currently, I have several students that are taking a proposal project. So I suggested to them that before they wanted to do a study, to make sure that their idea have to be have to be related, that they can do the project actually. So it makes sure that the idea can be deliverable. So if for example they can attend the university or going to the campus, they can do it online, or for example they can do the interview online to WebEx or another online conference platform. So those also who doesn't want to go to the online platform, so they can also going through the another type of questionnaire or survey. So also there's also a student that asking me near to my house and only and talking around our community in their area. So I would suggest that they can do that, but make sure that make sure that they are take care of themselves, make sure that they follow the safety procedure. Yes. So yeah.
I see. Okay. I hope that's answered the questions just now. Right. So I have questions for Dr. Nurul. So you suggest that this local food, they can be transferred to all over the world through this, portal delivery, right? So what do you think the best marketing strategy, to uh, you know, to uh, make people know about your product, the local product, that you can get it, because people miss traveling and also the food. So how is the strategy you suggest for
Yeah,
marketing?
as I mentioned in the slide, because I really interested in this topic actually currently in this COVID, because I like going to another country and try taste another food. So what can we do now? We cannot go into another country. So what I can see that most of them are using YouTube and also using Facebook. They're using the marketing strategy, viral marketing strategy right now. They're saying that our good is not, it tastes like a local country taste, for example. If they are selling kimchi, this kimchi is very nice. It will make you remember of kimchi in, for example, in Seoul, for example. I don't know because I had never been to Korean. So currently, if I go to the Shopee, for example, I know that Shopee is the platform that very famous around Asia. There's also Shopee in the Philippines. There's also Shopee in Indonesia. So this is a very good platform actually. We can use the Shopee platform, for example, selling the kimchi, or from Korean. There are also the seller from Korean, also Indonesia, to buy the kimchi inside. For example, kimchi, to buy kimchi inside the Shopee, for example. If you wanted to buy a product from Indonesia, for example, to buy it from Bandung, for example, you can get it from the Shopee. Right now, it's easily to buy. If you remember about Japanese food, you wanted to buy something about maybe takoyaki kit, there's also in Shopee. Shopee in Indonesia, Shopee in Malaysia, and Shopee in Philippines. So I would say that globalization has made it very, very useful, because even though we cannot travel to another country right now, but the previous globalization, the effect has really, really given the advantage for nowadays, right now. So I would suggest that continue to do the marketing through the online platform, through the YouTube, through the Facebook, through the everything that you can. Yes. And then currently I can see that they are using agent now. For example, Indonesia are looking for agent from Malaysia, and also another country. So this is a really good marketing that developed by sellers from around the country now. Yes, thank you, Dr. Mona.
Yeah, I think we can collaborate between our universities. We can have like delivery from our
Yes.
university to Universitas Muhammadiyah. Maybe some local product venture on using portal.
Portal,
Maybe
yeah.
like mentioned by
That will be a
Mr.
great project. Yeah.
Mr. Eddie. Some salai maybe. We cannot get asam pedas.
Asam pedas fish
Oh.
kan?
I think that's all for this
Hopefully, COVID is end,
session. Yeah. Okay. So I think we will proceed to our last presentation with Madam Rozi Yuliani. I hope we can hear from you again. Madam Rozi, is everything okay? If everything is ready, then we shall proceed with
Yes,
the
I'm
presentation
ready.
from Madam Rozi on local wisdom for ecotourism development in new normal era. So, Madam Rozi, you can proceed.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for a chance that you give for me. I would like to talk about local wisdom for ecotourism development in new normal era. I am Rozi Yuliani from Fakultas Pariwisata Universitas Muhammadiyah, Sumatera Barat, Indonesia. Indonesian is well known as a country that has a diversity of culture, ethnic and local wisdom. Culture and society cannot be separate in everyday life because local wisdom is a part of a society that is passed down from generation to generation. Now, it's still for first life. The value that exists in local wisdom are noble value that apply in the outer community life, such as protect and manage the environment sustainably for community life, so that it can be properly preserved. And local wisdom is knowledge found by certain local community through a collection of experience in trying and integrating with cultural understanding. A natural condition in a place that is raised in a system of ideas and serve as a guide for attitude and behavior for community members. In this new normal era, tourism adopts some the latter thing, especially healthy, safety, and security. For the background, the first local wisdom is a that has been integrated with the belief system, norms, and culture in society, which is expressed in the tradition adopted for a relatively long time. Water in front of the house and requiring whole family to clean their hand and feet after traveling so as not to get sick. Local wisdom, the second, local wisdom is a form of community behavior so that it can live side by side with nature and the environment without having to spoil it. Local wisdom can train people to get to know the environment, local culture, in order to respect each other, accept diversity, and foster tolerance, honesty, and care about the issue that occurs. Communities can build ideas together to solve the difficulties faced by. Community can practice the resolution of difficulties faced in a good, correct, and appropriate way. This approach invites the public to think about the current condition, care about the environment, discipline themselves, empathy, and follow the rules set by the government. The function of local wisdom. Local wisdom is a human wisdom that relies on traditionally institutionalized philosophies of value, ethics, ways, and behavior. Local wisdom is a value that is considered good and true so that it can last a long time. The function of local wisdom are conservation and preservation of natural resources. Tourism is positively correlated with conservation, mean providing effective economic incentive to preserve, enhance cultural biodiversity, protect natural and cultural heritage on planet Earth. Next, conservation and preservation. Ecotourism, a trip to a natural area that preserves the environment. Outdoor travel that doesn't cause environmental damage. Tourists use energy efficient resources, don't sacrifice flora and fauna, don't change the topography of nature and the environment, such as erecting buildings that are foreign to the environment of culture of society. The second, supporting the welfare of the local community. Ecotourism helps local economic life because the principle is to consume local plant, not use import materials, use accommodation provided by local communities instead of international network hotel, using transportations managed by local communities. The third, involving environmental interpretation and education. Ecotourism puts a great attention on the natural environment and local culture. In this context, tourists come to learn a lot about the local culture from the local community, not the other way around. Tourists don't want the local community to create additional performance or entertainment, but encourage them to be given the opportunity to watch the ceremonies and performance that the local community already has. Next. Ionic. In this pandemic, improve natural health, but human health deteriorates. Current circumstances make us understand that human must live a balanced life with nature. Some studies saw a decrease in pollution index on air after the outbreak spread, and as a result of decreased human activity, the air become refreshed again, the state of nature improve, nature recover from its death at the end of the human. Next. What's nature want? Nature want to teach human how to live, how to live. Nature want to teach human to be polite to the nature. Nature want to teach human not to cheat, exploit, and treat like a despicable object. Nature want to tell humans who right in nature, not the other way around. Next. In the new normal era, we have to adapt some later things like GHAs, clean, health, and safety. Actually, in West Sumatra, we have adopted this a long time ago, since long time ago. For example, the most of population in Indonesia are Muslim. Taking wudu before getting into mosque and providing water in front of rumah gadang to wash feet are the local wisdom of Minangkabau community in maintaining cleanliness. The Minang people don't really need to be started in terms of maintaining this cleanliness. Our ancestors have done it since ancient time. Not only maintaining cleanliness, but also to recognize environment. Other local wisdom in Indonesia is always involving community leader that we call as a Ninyak Mama, Candik Pandai, dan Alim Ulama. Development of tourism in West Sumatra based on an understanding of the interconnectedness and attachment between the environment and custom. Although there are actually Minang people who use the forest for personal benefit, so as to ignore customary rules and environmental damage. I think that's all about local wisdom for ecotourism development in new era. Thank you for the time that you give for me. And if the conclusion is ecotourism will be more in demand after the pandemic. And the reality is COVID-19 make us aware to re-evoke local wisdom. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Muna.
Okay. Madam Rosie, we have come to conclusion from your presentation too early, I think. we hope to hear more from you. Okay, Madam Rosie, so since you are the last presenter today, I just want to know your perspective on ecotourism right now in Indonesia. How is it? How was it affected since COVID-19? Came to all of us this year. How was the trend going?
Such a tourism, okay. Such a tourism ministry rule that they came out some weeks ago. Ecotourism is one of the kind of tourism product that will be famous after pandemic, because in this pandemic, people tourism mass or tourist mass will be decreased. We don't know when the pandemic will begin. The prediction in Indonesia, this pandemic will begin for 2023. Maybe it's a long time for a tourism industry. But to solve the problem and to make the travel agent or tourism industry still survive in this pandemic is provide another strategy to promote tourism. And ecotourism is one of the best choice because they enjoy the nature and it will be avoid the tourists to distance one tourist to the another tourist, and it will make the tourists can enjoy the fresh air because the ecotourism and they can enjoy the nature tourism.
Will be one of the attention after COVID-19
Ada
over,
suaranya.
right? Because we have been living in our house or being in
Suara?
the building too much, right? We cannot go outside. So I'm sure also, yeah, ecotourism will be, you know, in higher demand than ever. People will try to get near to nature.
Yes.
But in Malaysia, ecotourism, there are a lot of demand still, continuous demand, although it is low, and we have like standard of operation to continue for ecotourism in our country. There's research actually that shows that our nature is actually preserving itself after the human being has been, not touching them, being just among us. So I'm sure that in the future we are going to have a brighter future and fresher for ecotourism experience, right, Miss Rose, Madam Rosie? Or maybe we can come to Malaysia or Indonesia after this to experience ecotourism. Okay.
Yes, of course. We're waiting for this.
It's always us that cause all the damage. Now we can see. the river
Yeah.
is cleaner, the hills are cleaner, fresher because of
Exactly.
us. We are living them for a long
Yes.
time. We are doing good thing actually, right? Preserving them. Okay, Madam Rosie, so I think that is all for our presentation today. Since there is no more question, do we have any more questions? Maybe the guests just wanna raise your hand in this WebEx to ask questions before we end our whole webinar. Okay, I think maybe not. Alright, so thank you so much, Madam Rosie, for your presentation. Alright, so I would like to.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I would like to have a conclusion for our session based on the presentations just now. I can see that the impact of COVID-19 has caused us to experience this new normal era, right? Where although we have to continue our life, continue what we do previously and have to change a little bit on our lifestyles, but our life still goes on, continue. We need to have a few modifications and certain measures that need to be improved in order to continue our life without getting affected by COVID-19 and at the same time have the experience to explore our country all over the world, not just through culture, but through the food. And we should say that we are lucky that this pandemic had happened during the time that we have good technology. We have all these instruments that can help us to stay connected with outside world, although we are living, different, distancing from one another. So I think it is the best time that all of us who are related to tourism, event, and hospitality industry to improve. Like some of our speakers has mentioned, we need to learn to improve our skills so that we can adapt to this new era and maybe we can make better of this pandemic. After this, we can come out stronger with all the skills that we have. So I think that's all for our webinar today. We have a very good insight from all of the speakers. Thank you so much for your participation and for the guests that has been staying with us since beginning. Thank you very much. Hopefully we can keep seeing one another again in next other webinars in the future. Who knows? So that's all from me. I would like to apologize for all the things that maybe I have wrongly said or conclude. Thank you so much, everyone. So that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. So I will pass back to Miss Tia for the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muna, as moderator for conducting this webinar session. And also, not forget to all the speakers for such a valuable and wonderful knowledge that being shared in this webinar. Also, thank you to all participants. Hopefully, you gain new knowledge and benefit throughout our read up for this webinar. Thus, on behalf of Ecotourism Challenge Webinar 2020 Committee, thank you for all your time and participation. For your information, all certificates will be distributed via email by ECW 2020 Committee. That's all for today and have a nice day ahead. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Universitas Muhammadiyah Sumatera Barat, lahir tahun 1955, diresmikan oleh pimpinan Pusat Muhammadiyah saat itu, Buya A.R. Sultan Mansur. UMSB mencatat sejarah awal pendidikan tinggi Persyarikatan Muhammadiyah sebagai Universitas Muhammadiyah tertua di Indonesia. UMSB berkontribusi mencetak generasi bangsa yang terdidik sesuai dengan tujuan amal bakti Muhammadiyah. Saat ini, UMSB memiliki 4 kampus di beberapa kota strategis di Sumatera Barat, kampus 1 di Padang, kampus 2 di Padang Panjang, kampus 3 di Bukit Tinggi, dan kampus 4 di Payakumbuh. Mahasiswa UMSB datang dari berbagai wilayah di Sumatera. Mereka menuntut ilmu pada program diploma dan strata 1 di 9 fakultas serta program pasca sarjana. Saat ini, UMSB memiliki 22 program studi. Fakultas Agama Islam, program studi Pendidikan Agama Islam, Ahwalul Sahsiyah, Pendidikan Guru Madrasah Ibtidaiyah, Pendidikan Bahasa Arab. Fakultas Hukum, program studi Ilmu Hukum. Fakultas Ekonomi, program studi Manajemen dan Akuntansi. Fakultas Teknik, program studi Teknik Sipil, Teknik Elektro, dan Teknik Mesin. Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, Program Studi Pendidikan Matematika, Pendidikan Bahasa dan Sastra Indonesia, dan Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Fakultas Pertanian, Program Studi Agroteknologi dan Agribisnis. Fakultas Kehutanan, Program Studi Kehutanan. Fakultas Kesehatan dan MIPA, Program Studi Kebidanan, Administrasi Rumah Sakit, Keperawatan. Fakultas Pariwisata, Program Studi Usaha Perjalanan Wisata dan Perhotelan. Program Pasca Sarjana. Untuk pengembangan potensi dan kreativitas mahasiswa, UMSB aktif dengan unit kegiatan mahasiswa